Imagine for a moment a version of you in another reality where every goal you've ever dreamed of is already achieved. That perfect career, that deep inner peace, those relationships you crave, all within your grasp. Now, what if I told you that this version of yourself is not just a fantasy, it's real? And not only real, but deeply connected to you at this very moment. You see, the life you're living right now, the you that wakes up every morning, goes through the motions, faces struggles and uncertainties, is only a fraction of what's possible. In another reality, there exists a version of you who has already overcome these challenges. The doubts that hold you back? Gone. The setbacks that keep you stuck? Already conquered. Picture yourself walking through the bustling streets of Madrid or the quiet alleys of Kyoto. In one reality, you might be just another face in the crowd, caught up in the daily grind. But in another, you're the person you've always aspired to be, radiating confidence, living with purpose, achieving everything you once thought was out of reach. And here's the truth. You don't have to wait for some distant future to become that person. You can tap into that version of yourself right now. You can access their wisdom, their power, their success, because they are you. The knowledge, the strength, the clarity you seek is already within you, waiting to be unlocked. In this journey, I'm going to show you exactly how to do that, how to step beyond the limits of what you think is possible, and reach into these parallel realities where your greatest potential is already a reality. This isn't magic, it isn't science fiction. It's about expanding your consciousness, shifting your perspective, and breaking free from the invisible chains of time and space. So stay with me, because what you're about to discover could completely transform the way you see yourself, the way you live your life, and the future you thought was only a dream. Now, let's dive deeper into this parallel selves idea. What if I told you that there are multiple versions of you, each living in different realities, walking different paths, making different choices? These versions are all connected, like branches of the same tree extending from the same root. Yet each branch experiences something unique. Imagine, for instance, a version of you living in Madrid, thriving in the career you always dreamed of. Another version in Kyoto, having already conquered the fears that hold you back. Perhaps in Buenos Aires, there's a version of you who has mastered a skill you've always wanted to learn. These parallel selves exist, each navigating a reality shaped by choices different from the ones you've made here. Every decision, every opportunity taken or missed, creates another path, another you. And these parallel versions are more than just ideas. They are part of an invisible network of consciousness, sharing experiences and knowledge that you haven't yet accessed. Think of it this way. The you that you know is just a snapshot, a temporary expression limited by the narrow perception of this reality. But the real you, the full essence of who you are, exists across multiple dimensions, with access to vast amounts of knowledge, wisdom, and experience. And what if I told you that the life you're living right now is just a small piece of a much larger puzzle? This is where it gets interesting. When you begin to understand that these parallel versions of you exist, you also begin to realize that their choices, their experiences, can impact your life right now. The version of you who's already succeeded, already achieved what you desire, that version can guide you in ways you never imagined. What if you could tap into the mindset of the you in Paris who has already mastered self-discipline? Or the version in Mumbai who has discovered deep inner peace? These versions of you hold the keys to what you seek, and the connection to them is not as distant as it may seem. The only question is, are you ready to access that power? By expanding your awareness, you can begin to bridge the gap between your current self and your parallel selves. It's not just about believing this is possible, it's about learning how to tap into these alternate realities, these different yous, to bring their knowledge and achievements into your present life. Once you grasp this concept, you start to see reality as something fluid, something you can shape and transform. And the key to doing that lies in how you perceive consciousness. So how do you actually access your parallel self? How do you connect with these versions of you that have already achieved the life you want? The answer lies in how you perceive reality. Most of us think of time as linear, a straight line that moves from the past through the present and into the future. But what if this view of time is nothing more than an illusion? Time doesn't move in a straight line. In fact, it's more like a vast ocean of possibilities, with every moment, past, present, and future, existing all at once. Your parallel selves exist in this ocean, and the key to connecting with them is to expand your perception beyond the limits of linear time. You need to start seeing time as flexible, something that can be shaped and bent by your consciousness. When you begin to do this, you'll realize that your desired future, the one where you've already succeeded, already exists. It's out there in a parallel reality, just waiting for you to tap into it. Take, for example, Julian, a struggling artist from Barcelona. He had always dreamt of showcasing his work in world-renowned galleries, but for years he felt stuck, trapped in an endless cycle of self-doubt and financial struggle. One evening, while reading about quantum realities, he had a realization. The version of himself who had already succeeded existed somewhere in the vast spectrum of reality. If he could align with that version, he could begin to manifest that success in his current life. The first step to accessing your parallel self is to change how you view the present moment. The present isn't just a fleeting point in time, it's a field of infinite possibilities where the past, present, and future are all interconnected. In this field, you have the power to connect with a more advanced version of yourself, the version that has already accomplished what you're striving for. Julian decided to step into the mindset of his successful self. Every morning, he visualized himself walking into a high-end gallery in Paris, shaking hands with curators, and seeing his paintings sell for thousands. He absorbed the confidence, the certainty, and the energy of that version of himself. Instead of waiting for success, he began acting as if he already had it. His movements, his words, even the way he dressed reflected the accomplished artist he aimed to become. This is a version of you who has wisdom and knowledge that can guide you right now. To connect with this parallel self, you need to let go of the idea that the future is something far away. The reality you want already exists, and the more you shift your perception, the more you'll begin to realize that you can access that future right now. A strange thing started to happen. Within months, Julian was invited to an art exhibition in Milan. His work, once unnoticed, began gaining traction online. He was no longer chasing success, it was coming to him. His mindset shift had activated a shift in his external reality. Here's the thing, this isn't just about observation, it's about living it. When you connect with your parallel self, you're not just gaining insight, you're embodying that version of yourself. You're bringing the experiences, the achievements, and the wisdom from that reality into your present life. And the more you align with that version of you, the more you begin to transform your current reality. It's important to understand that this is a process of conscious expansion. You're expanding beyond the limitations of time and space, breaking free from the idea that you're confined to just one reality. The moment you open your mind to this possibility, you start to live in multiple realities at once. And this is where the true power lies. You can draw strength, knowledge, and success from any of these realities and use it to shape the life you're living today. Quantum jumping is the practice of accessing alternate versions of yourself and bringing their wisdom and success into your life. It's not about physically moving, it's a shift in consciousness, a way to align with the version of you that has already achieved what you desire. Every possibility, every outcome already exists in a vast field of potential realities. In one version, you've built a thriving business in Barcelona. In another, you're still struggling in Sydney. Quantum jumping allows you to choose which reality you experience by aligning your energy with the version of yourself that's already living the life you want. Take Daniel, for example. He lived in Cape Town, working a job he didn't love, feeling stuck in a cycle of doubt. But somewhere in another reality, there was a version of Daniel in Tokyo who had already written a best-selling novel, living the life of a celebrated author. Through quantum jumping, Daniel learned to shift his mindset, align with the energy of his successful self, and step into that reality. It starts with intentional focus and visualization. You must clearly define what you want, whether it's a new career, improved health, or inner peace. Once you have that clear vision, you focus on the reality where you've already achieved it. But it's not just about thinking, you have to feel it. You must immerse yourself in that reality, experiencing the emotions and sensations as if it's happening now. The key is shifting your emotional state to match that reality. If you want to live in abundance, you need to feel abundant. If you want success, you need to feel successful. When you align your vibration with the version of yourself that already exists in that reality, you create a quantum jump. Think of it like tuning into a radio station. Every station is already broadcasting, but you only experience the one you're tuned into. The same applies to realities. By tuning your consciousness to the version of yourself who has already achieved your goal, you bring that reality into your present. For Daniel, this shift was life-changing. He started writing every day as if he were already a best-selling author. He adjusted his habits, his thoughts, and even the way he spoke about himself. Within a year, his manuscript was complete, and soon after, it was picked up by a major publisher. His reality had shifted, not because he physically moved, but because he aligned himself with the success that already existed in another version of his life. Quantum jumping bypasses the traditional path to success. You don't have to wait years. You can shift directly into the version of you who has already done it. This isn't about skipping the work. It's about aligning with the self who already knows how to navigate the challenges ahead. After a quantum jump, you start noticing subtle shifts. Solutions appear more easily, new opportunities come into view, and your mindset transforms. You begin operating from the perspective of someone who has already succeeded. And before you know it, you're living the life you once thought was only a dream. Now that you're familiar with the power of quantum jumping, let's dive into a practical technique you can start using to connect with your parallel self. This technique involves visualization, and it's all about aligning your energy with the version of you that has already achieved the life you desire. Find a quiet space where you can relax without interruptions. Sit comfortably, close your eyes, and take several deep breaths to calm and center yourself. Next, take a moment to clearly define what you wish to manifest. Do you dream of landing a new job, improving your health, or enhancing your self-confidence? Be as specific as possible about your desire. Visualize it as if it's already come true. Now shift your focus and visualize a reality where that desire has already been fulfilled. Imagine yourself living in that world. What does it feel like? What do you see around you? Pay close attention to the details. Notice the colors, feel the textures, and hear the sounds. Immerse yourself completely in this new version of your life. The key here isn't just seeing the change, it's about truly feeling it. How would you feel if that reality was yours right now? Would you experience excitement, relief, or a deep sense of joy? Allow these emotions to envelop you. This emotional connection is what helps align your vibration with that parallel self. The more you embody the feelings tied to that reality, the more you align with the version of yourself who is already living it. For instance, let's say you're visualizing financial abundance. Imagine yourself enjoying that prosperous lifestyle. See the details. Perhaps you're taking exciting vacations or spending quality time with loved ones, free from the worries of money. Beyond the imagery, focus on how it feels to live in freedom. The excitement of financial security, the peace of knowing you have more than enough. Feel that deeply, as though it's happening right now. After a few minutes, fully immersed in this visualization, release any attachment to how or when it will come to fruition. Trust that by connecting with this reality, you've already taken the leap. The important thing is to let go of control. You don't need to figure out each step. By holding on to the feeling that your goal is already accomplished, you create space for the universe to deliver it to you in the best possible way. It might seem like a simple practice, but it's incredibly effective. The more you visualize and feel the emotions associated with your desired reality, the more you attune to the frequency of your parallel self. Here's the magic. Over time, you'll notice shifts. New opportunities will emerge, challenges that once seemed insurmountable will shrink, and you'll begin to step into the life you've been visualizing because you've aligned with the version of yourself who's already attained it. The more regularly you engage in this practice, the stronger your connection to that parallel self becomes. Dedicate a few minutes each day to visualize your desires, to feel the emotions of already having them, and to trust in the process. Quantum jumping is all about focus and vibration. By doing this daily, you accelerate the manifestation of your goals. So remember, it's not just about seeing the change, it's about feeling it. Feel the success, feel the joy, Feel the achievement as if it's happening right now. Then let it go. Trust that you've made the jump and observe as your reality begins to transform. Let's take this idea even deeper. Beyond just the practical, what are the spiritual and quantum implications of connecting with your parallel self and bending time? At its core, this practice isn't just about getting what you want. It's about awakening to a new understanding of who you truly are. You are not just a single individual living one life bound by time and space. You are a multi-dimensional being existing in a vast network of realities where every possible version of you is already out there, waiting to be explored. Quantum physics tells us that all possibilities already exist simultaneously. This concept is known as quantum superposition. Just as a quantum particle can exist in multiple states until it's observed, every version of you living out different experiences is already real. The only question is, which version of you are you choosing to experience? Spiritually, this opens up a profound truth. You are not separate from the universe. You are interconnected with everything, and your consciousness is the key to unlocking infinite possibilities. The limitations you experience in life are not fixed. They are the result of your perception. When you begin to understand that time and reality are flexible, you realize that you are not just living in the world. You are actively creating it. This realization is not just philosophical, it is deeply transformative. The power of intentionality becomes clear. Your thoughts, emotions, and focus act as the observer in the quantum field, collapsing one of the many possible realities into your lived experience. What does that mean? It means you're not a passive participant in your life. You are the creator, the one who decides which reality becomes real through the power of your attention and energy. Let's look at the story of Claire, a woman living in Bellevue, Washington. For most of her life, Claire had felt confined by the limitations of her surroundings, her career choices, and the beliefs she held about what was possible for her. Then one day, while reading a book about the nature of time and consciousness, Claire felt a spark of realization. She was living in a version of reality where everything felt predictable and stuck. But she realized that this was just one of the infinite possibilities that existed for her. By choosing to expand her consciousness, Claire began to tune into the version of herself that had already found success, that was living a life of fulfillment and joy. She started to explore different paths, even though they seemed unusual at first. With each step, Claire felt as if she were navigating through different realities, tapping into the wisdom and experiences of her parallel selves. The more she did this, the more she began to transcend the limitations of time and space. Her life in Bellevue began to transform, not because of external circumstances changing, but because of her internal shift. Her perception had expanded. She wasn't a victim of circumstance anymore, she was an active creator of her own destiny. She started seeing herself as a being of infinite potential, fully connected to a universe where every dream and possibility already existed, just waiting for her to tap into it. Now let's bring in the example of John from Richmond, Virginia, a software engineer who had always felt like he was stuck in a never-ending cycle of work and frustration. His dreams of starting his own tech startup seemed impossible, and he often felt he had missed his chance. But after reading about quantum theory and parallel realities, John began to realize that his dreams weren't out of reach. They existed in another version of him, a version that had already built a thriving company and was living his ideal life. John began to practice the same techniques Claire had used, expanding his consciousness and tuning into the version of himself that had already accomplished his goals. It was a gradual process, but as he aligned himself with this new reality, John found himself meeting people, having ideas, and receiving opportunities that seemed to come out of nowhere. He had shifted his focus, and as a result, his external reality began to reflect this new path. He didn't need to wait for things to change, he was actively creating them. So how do you bring this wisdom into your everyday life? It begins with conscious choice. Every day you have the opportunity to choose which version of yourself you want to embody. You can choose the version of you that is stuck in the past, held back by fear and limitation, or you can choose the version of you that has already overcome those challenges, already found the solutions, already achieved what you desire. This is the spiritual journey, realizing that the path to your higher self is not somewhere out there waiting to be discovered. It's already within you, waiting to be unlocked. By connecting with your parallel selves, you begin to integrate their wisdom and experiences, transforming your present reality. This is what it means to live in an expanded state of consciousness. It's not just about manifesting your desires, it's about realizing that you have the power to navigate multiple realities, choose your destiny, and awaken to your true limitless nature. Whether you're in Bellevue, Richmond, or anywhere else, the key is always the same. By shifting your perspective and tuning into the infinite possibilities within you, you can create the life you've always dreamed of. You've delved into the incredible power of your parallel self, the vast flexibility of time, and the boundless potential of your consciousness. Now it's time to ask yourself, are you truly ready to step into this new reality? Are you ready to live the life that your parallel self has already mastered? Picture this: everything you desire already exists in another reality. The version of you who has achieved all the success, peace, and fulfillment you crave is already out there, waiting. All it takes is a shift in your perception, your focus, and your vibration to align with that version of yourself and bring it into your present life. The secret lies in trusting the process. Visualization is your tool. Envision yourself in that reality. Feel the emotions of already living it, and most importantly, release the need to control when or how it unfolds. Understand that by aligning with your parallel self, you've already made the leap. You've already collapsed the distance between where you are now and where you want to be. So today, take a step forward. Embrace the immense power you have to shape your reality. Begin living from the mindset that everything you desire is already within your reach. The more you practice this mindset, the more you'll see your reality shift in extraordinary ways. If this message resonates with you, I invite you to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share your thoughts or experiences in the comments below. Your journey is just beginning, and there is so much more waiting for you. Thank you for joining me in this profound exploration, and remember, you are far more powerful than you realize. Take care, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.